Let's get that YouTube recording going. Hello, YouTube. And Twitch, I guess, by extension. I don't have favorites. That's a lie. I totally have favorites. I did some research, and I can't get the Master Sword with the temporary hearts that Sleeping in the Bed gives me. So that's out for now. That's not on the cards for today. Today is simply get all the shrines that I can get, and then do Korok seeds, I suppose. I made a note of... So there are 4 side quests in Akala. One of them is the talk to the sister to find the insects that she likes. 2 of them require Tarrytown, specifically require from the ground up to be completed. And the other one, I believe I did it. Oh no, it's a shady customer. The other one is a shady customer, which I've already collected. So I have all the side quests in this area collected. It's just a case of doing the shrines, doing the seeds, and then doing the side quests. A note on the shrines, as I mentioned yesterday, a couple of them have quests related to them. So I'm going to pick up the shrine quests now, and then do the shrine at the same time. Eastern portion of Marlin Bay, just south of Rist Peninsula. East is this side. I'm gonna stick that there and just guess. I guess we go here and ride down. That seemed to make the most sense. The Spring of Power, I looked into it. The dragon only spawns in the evening, or between 7 PM, 7 AM, so I have to wait. That's time locked to do that quest, to get into that shrine. So we'll see how long doing... Oh, you're right, Kiwi, I should hydrate. We'll see how long doing this shrine quest takes. You can't hear me, that's fine. We'll keep Mandonkey out in case Woodtier turns up. Because that's what they wanted yesterday. Taken out. Fine. Do you have a... No, you don't have some working here. Dang it. I want to customize Mandonkey. I need this road. Oh, hang on. I guess I could go here and glide down. That's probably faster and safer. See you, Mandonkey. It was nice. It was nice knowing you. But I have to do something. And there is a lot of traversing the countryside when going for Korok seeds, so I will probably see you more then. Is this a better... Yeah, it sure is. It's got to go to the top of Tingle Island as well. Oh, well, never mind. I think this is... Oh, I don't know why I'm slurring. Haven't had anything alcoholic today. I think this is faster than riding down on a horse. Anyway. Love that great fairy fountain music. And then if I remember this weekend, I'll do more cooking to get more health items so that I don't have to do that on stream. Oh. The issue I'm going to have in this area, of course, is all of the Sky Watchers. Oh, it's Korok. Where did it go? For real, chat, where did the... Where? Where? I mean, it's a bright yellow flower. I do have trouble focusing sometimes, so that isn't going to help, but all the same. Where the heck did it go? Because usually you can see them from... Oh, it's that. I see it now. So usually you can see them from where the first... From where you stand. From where it, you know, disappears. Very confusing. Some of these are not very accessible. Is that it? No. I think some of it's the light shaders that don't help. I'll be honest, I saw that one purely because of the flash of movement. Get it over here. Oh. Nope. That's a light pink flower, not a white flower. I'm gonna grab it because it's a thing I can pick up, but still. No, that's a bush. I'm assuming it's somewhere on this plateau. So I'm just going to carefully examine the plateau, or whatever you want to call it. So go back to the accessibility thing. When I was doing the research into... It's another Korok puzzle, why would it be down here? Although to be fair, they just stick them next to each other sometimes. Yeah, I went to do a wiki rabbit hole, or a wiki hole, if you will. 1 second. What's... So I'm trying to figure out what the difference is. There needs to be a block here. And discovered that the champion's tunic, which I'll show you in a moment, for those who have not seen it, or who have forgotten what it looks like. I did in fact find you. Yes, the champion's tunic, which is a rather tasteful shade of blue, was made blue because it stands out against all the green in the game. But they couldn't do that for the Korok seeds in areas that have yellow flowers or tall grass. Fun fact, for those who don't know, that's why Luke Skywalker's lightsaber goes from blue to green. Is because they realised you wouldn't be able to see it on a blue background on Tatooine. For real though, where is this dang flower? I also don't know if there's a time limit on them, so I don't know if it's reset and gone back to the top of the hill. I mean, oh, congratulations, whoever just got 5 points to the jump catch game. Could just use the guide. Might have to, because I'm not seeing it. Please bear with me while I open this. Korok seed locations. Akala. I'm getting it now because I've sorted the, you know, the challenge. Oh, wonderful. This is the page of the map that doesn't show you where they are. Fantastic. Okay, so can I have the map, please? Please, game? Please let me have the map. It might be over here. Unfortunately, the map's not the same map I have been using, so it's not 100%. No, that's that one. Maybe it did go back up the hill. Am I really gonna have to scroll all the way? Yeah, that's the. I think that's the fastest way to find it. Okay, please bear with me while I scroll slowly, trying to figure out, you know, where things are. If I do that, it pauses it. I'm trying to keep an accurate you know, count of how long I've been playing the game. It looks like it's one of these pillars somewhere. Oh, is that it? No, those are just normal flowers. I'm so confused, chat. I'm so confused. This is not a fun one. Some of these are fun. I like, you know, having to find the next flower, but... So... the last flower appears here. So I guess... oh, you son of a gun. I've walked past this area so many times. was on me. That must have been painful. I apologize. Yahaha! You found me. Too right-handed. Bye-bye. Only a hero bearing this ancient orb shall be granted the right of trial on Rist Peninsula. So I assume... Yep. How do I even... Okay, so I assume I'm supposed to carry it around. However... Hear me out, chat. I'm going to save before doing this because this could go awfully wrong. Oh, it's gone awfully wrong already. Never mind. I was going to play golf. But I guess it was on an ever so slight incline. Don't have a hammer. Mighty porgies. Actually, you know what? While I'm here, and while they're there, oh, actually, can I push this with the spin attack? Certainly can. Hopefully my stone's not big enough. Oh wow, really? Fire keys are also getting up in action? Right, you can break. Said you can break, thank you. Hey Harry, happy new year. I feel like it's been forever since I was able to stop in. It's been like a week. 2 weeks, I guess, technically. Yep. Hey, I actually need your tail. So this works out reasonably well for me. I don't have any other single-handed weapons, so... Giant clubbers! Oh, really? There we go. Two weeks is forever? It really is. You can stop that whenever you want. How's 2023 treating so far? Not well. It's been a weird week. But, and then the D&D discourse happened, so that's great. And something I need to... Suspicious pile of leaves. Something that I need to seriously think about how to handle. Sorry, nah, it's not his fault. It's just I did too much on my rest day. And you know what? That's on me. Told you it was a suspicious pile of leaves. Have that. Oh, chat, by the way, I am absolutely going to kill everything on my way back around this peninsula. I just didn't want to carry this and have to deal with the fights at the same time. But how are you, Ari? How is 2023 treating you so far in the first week of it? Right, I do actually need to kill those Alphos. No great ally, TBH. Can we just reset 2023? Can we do that? Do we have that power? Oh, right, you're assholes. That's your whole deal, really. You're just assholes, huh? Okay, so I guess those Alphos you can't kill with a slow weapon because they just back up. Got them down. That Bokoblin just died. You know, I think he did. So I'm going to die if I don't get out of this water soon. I think it fell off the horse and definitely died. Downside to resetting the year, however, AGDQ 2023 starts on Sunday. So, you know, there's that. We've missed that. Get wrecked, punk. That was it. That was your cool bow shot for the day. I'm going back to the shrine now. I think that does basically the same as a dash, but might get you slightly further. I hate this weapon, it's so slow. Oh hey, a soldier's bow. I'm probably going to drop a Boko bow so I can pick that up. Right, save before going into the shrine. I also realised I'm still wearing the soldier's chest piece. What horrors await inside this shrine? Akala shrines. This was into the vortex. There is one chest. Oh, right. It was a shrine quest. It's just a chest. I keep forgetting. That's into the vortex done. This is a horror game. It has some vague horror elements. The undead walk every night. Can you imagine if I'd come into the shrine and forgotten to get the spirit orb? That would have been embarrassing. You've done well to arrive at this shrine. A hero rises to right the wrongs of Hyrule. Right, so I'm going to, for the sake of harvesting monster ingredients for armor upgrades, I'm going to walk around the peninsula to kill stuff, and then I'll go to the next shrine location. Obviously, I've already discovered that there is a shrine here. I'm keeping the Zora gear on, by the way, just in case I have to go and collect some monster bits from the water. This is the problem with doing this at night, however. Hey. Hey. Get up, get up, get up! Oh, did I have a soldier's bow? Drop another Bocco bow. Right, I do actually need Lizalfos tails, so as much as I hate fighting them... Hey, punk. Get over here. I missed. Dead. And it did actually drop a tail, so that's nice. That one's fine out there. Oop. Oop. There we go. Mostly because I'm going to loop around to that side anyway. Really good shot. Not really. I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not. I'll be honest. It's one of those days. No. Are you being serious? Thank you. I mean, it helps that I've turned the motion controls off. For the, like, quick shots anyway. Which end its head is at. Can you imagine bringing the ball all the way around here? Like, you would have to run this in advance and kill everything, or just be continuously putting it down. That would be very, very annoying. I'm happy I did it the way I did. On that fish, but it's too low. Quick work and look there, that's fine. I appreciate you being here all the time. I will shoot you. I want you. Okay, I was totally locked on there. Cool, cool. I hate this game sometimes so much. Get out of the water. Did you even drop your tail? I hate everything. I hate. The fact that they leave is so incredibly annoying. Come and get me! Are you really just gonna stand all the way over there? Nope, didn't drop the tail. That's the annoying thing. They're not even dropping the bits I need. Hey. Yep. Come and get me. Please drop the tail. Keeps messing me up that the dash button is not the same as the sprint button when you're in the water. The sprint button does sweet FA when you're in the water. Crab. Be cool. I don't want to deal with you. Oh, that one drops tail. I can't remember what I need the Lizalpos tail to upgrade, but I'm pretty sure it's something I wear a lot. Crab. Again, you have to say crab, otherwise the crabs will come and find you when they take over. Yeah. These are all warm Dharmas in this area. And I don't actually need any cold resistance now. Right, I now have a weapon that I'm comfortable using. Oh, did I get the monster bits? Cool, okay. I'll take a free Mighty Corgi that I don't have to work for. I haven't actually looked at how many times you could stack the attack up buff. I know you can't stack elixirs, but the The like if you've got a weapon that does attack up and you're wearing clothes that do attack up, and then you take an elixir that does attack up, that's what I'm curious about. I think the worst thing about the Liz Alpos is they don't drop a weapon, so you wear out your weapon durability on them, crap, and you don't get a replacement. Should probably get my health back at some point. Now the game is really bright because it's midday and the rain has stopped. Which is not great when there's a ring light pointing straight at your face. Well, this one actually has a spear. That's cool. I guess... Oh, right, yeah, you can't use... where's my sword? That's what I've been using. What was my combination? That. Some swim speed up, but some decent armor as well for the trek around the peninsula. Turn around. That was on you. There we go. That's how you deal with that. Right, 3 moblins, I believe. Okay, that was... I pressed the wrong button. I mean, clearly I pressed the wrong button. That was awful. We won't speak of that, chat. Really? It missed? Oh, actually, while I'm thinking about it, what do these do? I guess nothing when they miss. Oh, they just delete them from existence. Good to know. Where's the... Really? Hey, if I could just kill you real quick, so I can deal with this fucking entourage. Fantastic. Right, that was a eventful minute or so. Swam over a fish? Or fish? Okay, right, well that was a thing that happened, and I did it, and we never have to talk about it again. Right. We were supposed to fall on this one and break it. Like that? That was just rude. Fish. And I'm back at the bottom. I'll grab this crab. Oh, there's Alpos for their tails, but I really can't be bothered to deal with the Octorok right now. So we'll get rid of that one. Right, so that was that shrine quest. So the next one just appears to be get to the labyrinth. So actually, bearing in mind what those arrows do, and I need to go up here and over here anyway. So I may as well try the labyrinth one first, but I'm going to see how much those arrows are, because they seem fairly useful, considering they can just remove things from existence. So, Cherry, what do you need? Hello, familiar name missing. Welcome. I have more of those. Exchanging beep beep. Exchanging beep beep. Results available. Bleep. I'll take another one, why not? Another 5, sorry. Short swords, instant shields. Okay, that has a high defense value. That's probably a 2-handed if I had to guess. Obviously all of this stuff. Need 9 ancient cores to get all of the ancient armor. So this armor works with the divine beast helmets I've got. I discovered. That is an option. How do I go? In here? Again, the music in this area box. You know what? I'm just going to go from the top. If I can remember how I got there. Or not, actually. There's no particular need to. Save the game. I hope there's good stuff over here. Also hope that 2 wheels is enough. And of course there are Guardian Skywatchers. There's a long way to climb. Really, game? Really? Shrine nearby, you don't say? Okay, so you only need like 1.5 stamina lives to reach it, so that's fine. You who have reached this point, proceed onward through the maze and you will receive a reward. Trial of the Labyrinth. Oh, right, I probably just be using my best bow for this. Oh, actually... Okay, so they... I'm picking up they probably one-hit everything. Absolutely worth the money I paid for it. Can I not? Oh no, there's a grove. Never mind. Okay, how many chests are actually in this area? Multiple important treasures in the labyrinth. Ah, there we go. Lome Labyrinth Island. What treasures are in this labyrinth? Okay, well, I guess we'll just go for a walk. Apparently there are decent weapons in these corners. So if I go straight. Nope, this isn't connected in any way, shape, or form. And you know what? I'm just going to walk it backwards. So I need to go that first one. But while I'm here, I may as well go to the end of this corridor passage. Oh. No, that's on me. I may have forgotten that sometimes the jelly's just there. Hey, the Cotton 2, how you doing? I never actually asked, is it cotton as in, you know, the plant? Or is there a different pronunciation going on that I'm unaware of? Please be here. Coton? Is that right? Suddenly realising I never had to come across the French pronunciation in my French lessons. That's right, excellent. Thank you for correcting me. I tried to, I mean, I thought it might have been with, obviously, the spelling, but I didn't want to assume anything. But I like to respect people's usernames. Wasn't expecting you to get it sound that well. The trick is I have a mild talent for languages. Just gonna check this dead end. French accent doomed to not being able to trill. I can imagine that's a problem. Yes. Down here. Don't worry, I'm not going to explore all of it. I'm just going for the main points of interest that the IGN map is like, hey, you should probably look here, because I can get back over here at any point. So it's not too bad. But apparently there are decent weapons in the northern corners of the maze, so that's what we're checking out. Don't know the game's no pressure. That's fair. I think before we leave, I might... well, before I leave, I might also see if I've got enough stamina to climb the walls. Gasp, a shortcut. Can we apply it at some point? Well, I mean, if you wait until March, I believe, the sequel's coming out. And if you don't really care about, you know, continuing plot summaries, okay. Really? This is what IGN calls a good weapon? Okay. Just need to buy a dynamic display screen first. Yeah. I may do with my basic 1080p monitor. I have enough issues with accessibility. I'm like, as long as it runs, I'm fine. Just let me play the game. Which I get, you know, isn't everyone's preferred thing, so I'm not saying you're doing it wrong. You have a Wii U? Ah, yeah. No, that's an issue. Although there are apparently reasonably well-substantiated rumors about the next Nintendo console coming out next year. I'd be a bit inclined to be skeptical about them, because there haven't even been leaks about a new one being in development beyond they're focusing on the next console right now rather than like a Switch Pro. But, you know, it might be true. I'd be curious to see how the Wii U version runs. I want to stay 1 or 2 generations of consoles behind so I can be sure I can unlock the full potential of the device you buy. That's totally fair. Totally fair, I get that. I did that when I came out of university, and I was like, you know, I could wait for the next Xbox model, or I could just get a 360 and take full advantage of the 360's library. Ah, there's a choo-choo somewhere. Oh no. Oh, actually, I need red choo-choos.
Yep.
Red choo-choo jelly. A jiggly substance that normally comes from a fire choo-choo. It consistently gives off heat. If struck, it will explode in a ball of flame. I actually need this for a, Actually, I have 104 of these. I need that for some armor. But yes, I'd be interested to see how well this runs on the Wii U. Because it doesn't run terribly well on the Switch in places, I'll be honest. Okay, well I guess that was the weaponry IGN thought we'd need, but it wasn't wasted because I got to get some fire kill some fire choo-choos. Hang on, don't I? Is it? Nice, speed up. There we go. I am verily Newman. I don't have any just basic weapons. It's one of the reasons why I held up buying a Switch Lite. It's not a very performance console given the current market. Absolutely not. I mean, the Switch is obviously reaching the end of its generational lifespan anyway, being 6 years old. So I'm not surprised that Nintendo said they were going to focus on like the next console rather than upgrading the Switch. But it was always like a half generation anyway, because it was just more powerful than the 360 and the or on par, I guess, with the one on PS4. But then they left it behind with upgraded models. Which, you know, a console doesn't have to be a powerhouse to be the box replaced itself. It doesn't have to be a powerhouse to have fun games around with it. But obviously, it limits ports and whatnot. And I'm very much of the school of thought that the more I thought I was going the wrong way. The more platforms something's on, obviously, the better. So the more people can play it. Supposed to be about the game catalog, absolutely is. And unfortunately, obviously, a lot of developers are like, well, I'm not going to develop for this because it's not going to be able to easily run what I want it to, or it has its own technical limitations and requirements because it's underpowered, quote. Although some of the stuff that they do to port Bethesda games to the Switch is fascinating, and the fact they got The Witcher 3 running on the Switch was mind-blowing. Again, that had issues on the Xbox in certain areas. Although I did read that it wasn't very well ported. It didn't run very well. Obviously they had a lot of AAA titles that were streamed to the Switch. But then the trouble you have there... I need to go down here. The trouble you have there is, if that service ever shuts down and you've paid for the game, you've lost the game. I want to check this dead end up here. It looks suspicious, it being T-shaped. Oh, that's what the map shows as a wall. Would you, game? Whereas I respect Nintendo in that regard. Their console have a gimmick or utility that make their console more unique. They did experiment and occasionally paid off. It does occasionally pay off. The trouble is, sometimes they then, you know, walk back that gimmick. Like, obviously the Wii U came out and didn't do very well commercially, but it has some cool ideas that they could have maybe implemented with the Switch, especially with the Switch Party system that they put in for Mario Party. If you had one Switch working as the gamepad, say, you know, like in, is it New Super Mario Bros. U or whatever, where they use the gamepad itself as a controller to add the platforms. Anyway. Could have done something similar to that, is what I'm saying. In my extremely uninformed and uneducated manner, I will admit I have not put as much research into stuff like this as I perhaps should to be talking about it. I wondered why I'd slowed down, and then I realised it's only at night I run faster. Curse you, day and night cycle! You know what, while I'm here... Status and touchpad function of this is not regarded as highly now that even phones and magic mirrors have touch functions, but at the time your mind was blown. Yeah, I mean, that was the perfect example, and obviously they iterated on that idea with the Wii U, and I mean, the Switch itself still has a touchscreen that some games do take advantage of. For example, I streamed it a couple of months ago now, but it was a game called South of the Circle. It's a pretty good narrative experience. But that was originally for iOS. But it when they ported it, they kept the touchscreen function in, so you could play it on the Switch as a touchscreen game. That was pretty neat. By the way, I should point out, the IGN page on the labyrinth does tell me how to get to the shrine. I'm just exploring the labyrinth. And apparently OBS is not happy with it because it's stuttering. Fantastic. Maybe there's just too much for it to display. I don't know. Did I just... Welcome back, Harry. Seems stable on your end. Yeah, it's weird. The stream the stream seems stable for people watching, but then when I rewatch the recording, it's definitely not encoded every frame, and it does stutter. It's really annoying for me personally, because I'm like, I don't want the YouTube audience to get a worse experience than Twitch. That's a ladder. But where are any Minotaurs, Bubs? Thanks, Harry. I honestly expected more enemies in the maze, if I'm being honest. I wasn't sure I'd be able to climb this. Oh, if this is to the shrine. Oh, flame blade. I already have a great flame blade, but they are kind of fun to use, so I'm going to drop that. You know what? I'm going to keep that. I'm going to drop this. I'm going to pick that up. Story time trying to point redeem. Ah, someone else has noticed it. Someone noticed it yesterday. I decided that I hate myself, and that is 20,000 points, and you give me a one-word prompt, and I will improv a fake folktale. Live on stream. It will obviously pause the game, insert Doom 2016 copy pasta. Yeah. Poke, poke, poke. I don't think I've actually seen that copy pasta thinking about it. So it's literal story time. Yeah, that's a torch to light the thorns with. That's pretty cool. Okay. Right, well. Is there anything behind the shrine? Before I enter it. Yeah. So there shouldn't be puzzle in here, because it was a shrine quest, but just in case. IGN, is there anything else of use in the shrine? There's a hole in front of the shrine that opens up once you complete the shrine. Feel like I'll save that for a different stream since I'm asking you to make a one-shot for you. Gotta save the creative juices. Thank you, Ari. And I'm gonna need those creative juices tomorrow. Anyone who's interested in tabletop role-playing games, I'll be over at twitch.tv/theonyxpath. Ooh, sweet helmet. Helmet once worn by the warriors of an ancient warlike tribe from the Farron region. Wearing it draws out your inner animal, increasing your strength and battle prowess. And I'll be running session 0 of a Realms of Pugmire short, limited, there we go, actual play. Got 3 cool people to hang out with me for a few hours, make characters, discuss expectations, that kind of thing. That will be at 4 PM Eastern Standard? Daylight? Whichever. 9 PM British Summertime, Greenwich Mean Time. And runs every Saturday at the same time for a couple of weeks, for a month or so. The rules are in a playtest state, so if you back the Kickstarter, which will be happening at the same time-ish, and then you get the final product, they may not resemble what we used during the playtest because it's a playtest. If you're not interested in TTRPGs, don't sweat it. It's fine. I get that not everyone's interested in them the same way I am. Right. Okay, I came down here. Why am I... Oh, this is a trap. This is absolutely a trap. This is bait. I guess I should also explain, Realms of Pugmire is a post-apocalyptic fantasy role-playing game where you play as dogs, cats, and rats. Bipedal dogs, cats, and rats. They've been uplifted to like human intelligence and stuff. But something happened to humankind and they are just vibing in the world thousands of years later. Diamond Circlet, Guardian Resist Up. A luxurious headpiece sold at Gerudo jewelry shops. It's decorated with a diamond which harnesses the power of light to reduce damage received from ancient enemies. Oh, I survived! And you get iframes as well. Cool. Right, I need to hide behind this. You know I'm killing these, right? I just need some food. And then, just in case... Those arrows are very expensive. Can I do a right back catcher? I can actually. I do have a shield that will deflect their attacks. I think I'm going to run for that one. Oh, that one got up. Mistakes may have been made. Love everything he wears is green, such a good choice. Apart from the Zora armor, I left that as blue because that was his. You know, Mifa made it for Link, so I was like, no, we'll keep this as blue because she loved him and she wants to marry him. But everything else, yeah, I'm dyeing green for those who are unaware, because green's a great colour. Oh, I guess if they've got legs, they'll move, maybe? I just want all the resources they can give me. This one gonna move? I need to kill the ones that are attacking me for obvious reasons. That's what I figured. About that? More arrows. Nope, that's all good. I want that stuff. But there's no safe harbour. I guess sprint for that one and hope it doesn't get up. This one is almost certainly going to activate. What did I say, chat? Hello? That was rude. That's a mistake. That's a problem. There's Meatfoot. I just wanted the loot. Is that too much to ask? Sniper turrets are easy to bullet team. Oh, they really are. They just do, as you saw, a lot of damage. My bow broke, which meant the arrow got wasted. That's annoying. Isn't fun without a bit of pushback. It's true, I could do with less pushback. Okay. I'm just worried about stuff despawning. These are the static ones. The mobile ones give you so much stuff. Okay. Well, I'm going to save, and I'm going to search all of the Guardians down here. For one item at a time. But it is good to know that I can, when the Blood Moon happens, I'll be able to come down here again and do all of this all over again. If I do want the, you know, the loot that they drop. Probably isn't actually worth the time it takes to go to each and every one of these. There we go. This one, I'm pretty sure I've looted. Yep. This one might activate, actually. Nope. So I'm judging whether or not they're going to activate based on how many legs they have. I would have been to that one. I think I've done this one already, but I'll check. Nope. I reckon that's probably all of the ones in here that will activate anyway, because I've run pretty much everywhere already. Used the corpses as cover, that kind of thing. Although this taught me a valuable lesson. If you want to go after Guardians, you need ancient weaponry. This one should be okay. I know it looks terrible, but maybe I will go and get the ancient armor for when I have to get to Hyrule Castle. Explore central Hyrule in general, really. So I think that has a Guardian resist up buff. Okay, well, that was... I still have one fairy as well, so... Could do with some more ancient shafts. But this is a healthy collection of loot. We've got some more cores as well. Okay, so the next shrine is here. Also, Kilton's there, I guess. Can I buy anything else now? I think I should probably prioritize getting the armor. Which, I can get some of the armor. Just need more ancient cores, but that involves killing more things. Guess we'll do that. Do I need the shafts for either of these? No. Okay, I need so much money. I need to go back to the snowballing area and, you know, grind it out. I'm gonna just have to start using these. Oh, I guess I could use one of the flame blades. Anyway, that's that. Let's do that again. Yeah, so that's Guardian resist up as well. Take less damage from Guardians. Just experimenting with my look, don't mind me. I think climbing is going to be involved first, so I'll just go back to my usual. Playing dress up? Heck yeah, you know I am. Oh, actually, I can get the dragon to spawn, so I'll do that. While I'm thinking about it. I'm always torn about games with armor systems because, on the one hand, I like to look the way that I want the character to look. But obviously, is that in this region? Yeah, that's the lake. Like, each armor set in this does something different, so I can't dress for looks, I have to dress for effects. And I never know how I feel about that. Play Souls games just for the fashion. Hey, Fashion Souls is a valid gameplay choice, I've heard. So I play Fashion Frame. Big fan of Fashion Frame. Hey, dragon. Do you wanna... Of dressing your Sims up and stuff. Hey, that's... Yeah, that works too. Is it Drenal? I think is the dragon's name. Dinroll. Dang it, so close. Eldon Great Skeleton or Tabantha Great Bridge are apparently the best places to do it. Is that not this area? Why is the... Because this is Eldon. Hang on. What was the quest? The Spring of Power. Okay, so I can't do that shrine quest just yet because it literally is in the next area, and I'm not leaving this area until I've done everything I can possibly do. Just as guilty, it reminds me of the old days of playing Dragon Quest IX and spending a huge amount of time to find the right type for your characters. I mean, it's the only way to play RPGs, really. If you're going to be spending that long looking at a character, you may as well make it a character you want to look at. I guess while it's night, get the free movement speed boost from this. And, you know, I'll be the first to admit that yes, occasionally I have dressed characters based entirely on their first appeal of both genders, well, of all genders. That's it. Obviously, depending on the game you're playing, sometimes for mask-presenting characters, you're a bit limited. Big-hearted truffle. Years of going unpicked have allowed this hearty truffle to grow quite large. It's chock full of nutrients. When cooked into a dish, it temporarily increases your maximum heart. And I just picked it. What a monster I am. Is that another Lionel? Oh god. Oh, get me out of here. Have I been marking Lionel on my map? I probably should. And then... Oh, there was another one that I saw in Lanayru. I feel like it was there, maybe? I don't want to deal with you. Please leave me be. Dang it, too low. Too high? Hitting the propeller blade, hello? Okay. Unfortunately, obviously, most of the RPGs I've played so far haven't had that kind of level of fashion to them, and I'm very sad about that. Yeah, keep on flying. Oh, hey, there's a Hinox. I think I've been using swords for Hinoxes. Yeah. Actually. Congratulations, whoever just won 5 points in the jump catch game. Hopefully you enjoy spending them on something cute for your teeny tiny avatar that you'll see during the bonus break. Which will happen at some point in probably the next half hour. That was close. Take an eye. Holy cow. Oh, you've got a tree. Okay, so the place is called Tempest Gulch, so that is totally understandable why everything is electrified. I was standing too close to the freaking claymore. Oh, this spear is not metal, apparently. Interesting. Speaking of how far I've been except now it's metal. I want that sword, but I don't want to drop anything I've got. This is the problem. Although I guess I could drop that. Because I can, air quotes, put down wood with bombs if need be. I guess it's not happy with this area. Too much. Apologise to the YouTube audience. Oh, hang on, this is Kilton. What do I actually have to do for that side quest I picked up that involves seeing him? Get an image to show Haas. Okay. Hey, you don't mind if I take a selfie, do you? Please turn around. Oh! Kilton! Hooyarg! Oh. That's just a Hylian. Who are you? Me? My name is Kilton. I suppose you're here because you heard I was opening a monster shop and you wanted to see it for yourself. Monster shop? Yes, I'm opening a monster shop called Fang and Bone, but I'm still preparing for my grand opening. Here's my business card. Fang and Bone. Come see old Kilton for the most monstrous deals in all of Hyrule. I'm going to need that card back. It's the only one I have. Anyway, are you into monsters? I like them. How much do you like them? I adore monsters. I love monsters more than you do. Sorry. Did it again. I just love the field of monster research so much that I decided to open a shop all about monsters. I call it Fang and Bone. I travel all around Hyrule in search of rare and exciting monster parts, but I'm not sure which village I should visit next. Kakariko Village or Hateno Village through Rito Village and Zoro's Domain are also good options. I suppose I could go all the way to Gerudo Town or Lurelin Village, but Lake Akala is much closer. I'm so excited I can hardly contain myself. I can't just sit around while there are monsters to be studied. I'm off. I'm sure we'll meet again in some village during the night. Fare thee well. Okay, so does he just appear at night in villages? Also, while I'm here. Is it night still? Yes. Eastern sky from the school's left eye. East? That was close. Maybe I have to do them in order. Okay. Well, I'm going to wait for it to stop raining, obviously. How do I get out of here? That way. Because that looks phallic. I realised I'm not climbing that as is. I need to jump from the cliff. It's important. Actually, that might be useful. I assume that's like electric resistance or something of that nature. That's an example. Climb the. Oh god, OBS, please calm down. No, that's an overhang, never mind. This I might be able to climb. I know it's an overhang, but I don't think it's as steep of an overhang. I think that takes slightly less stamina. Be interesting because it's not going to stop raining anytime soon, but I don't want to wait for the I don't want to go to a campsite and wait. Although, can you wait by a fire? I know you can wait by like a cooking pot. I mean, I can experiment. I've got wood, and I've got means of fire, of making fire. Just need an overhang. There's an overhang around here somewhere. I was wrong. There is no overhang. I guess I came from the overhang because I need to get the hook. So if I... Well, and then is that flint? Nope. That's flint. Wow, that does work. Excellent. I am a genius. Probably should have saved before doing that, just in case it hadn't worked. But it did work. Right. So the best place to climb from... Go there. Well, I've saved. I'll try from here. I don't have to run all the way around. I'm not going to. That effect is too good for this, I feel. I don't need it for 7 minutes. I'm lucky I might be able to stand on this incline. Nope, never mind. Oh, I've got enough stamina restoration. Oh. Oh, yes, I have a lot. I only have to do it the once, because once I get up there, I can simply walk here. Maybe I should have taken that movement speed up potion. wait while Link hangs out on the rock face and chows down. See it, chat. But I think I'm going to need another stamina restoration item. That's the worst one I have. Woohoo! That was close. That was all of my stamina. Yeah, OBS is freaking out about this. The game's running smoothly, OBS is encoding, less so. Right, now that I've made it up here, what complete nonsense puzzle do I have to solve? And it started raining again. Oh, that was a shrine quest. Okay, no puzzle. I can just walk on in and get my stuff. Oh, I get 2 more hearts as well. Fantastic. This magical sword was forged in the lava of Death Mountain. Leaves white-hot flames in its wake when the blade glows red. My inventory is full, but I'm carrying this kind of mess spear. Flame blade. Equip that shield. There we go. Always be aware of the condition of your equipment. Easier said than done when there's no way of tracking durability beyond I haven't used this weapon yet. I am so happy that I prioritized stamina. Right, I wondered if it was a bitrate issue. It's not. It's just OBS doesn't like it. That's fine. Okay, so... got those two. Got the shrine by the stables. I've got the shrine I can't do yet because I can't do the quest for it. Got that one. Got that shrine. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. That's 7. So there's only one shrine left, and it's all the way down here. That's over there. So I think the fastest way is probably here. And then I have to take my Wallen's break. Probably trade in my spirit orbs for hearts, and then I guess it's Korok seeds. Woohoo! You can tell how impressed I am with this idea, chat. Thrilled. Absolutely thrilled. Particularly as this region of the map on IGN's wiki doesn't have a numbered map. It is simply a list of instructions. Congratulations, whoever just won 5 points in the jump catch game. I'm sorry, do you... Get off this. Ah, you're on fire. That's what you get. Oh, they have fire arrows. And I was like, did you hit me with a fire rod? Nah, it was just the arrows. I may have forgotten this was the goblin. I thought it was a red one for some reason. Steeler's elbow. Suppose wielded by Liz Alphos, who are expert marksmen. The metal that reinforces much of the weapon adds some additional weight but offers heightened durability. I'm just gonna try this soldier's bow. Oh, actually, before I do the Korok seeds, I might take a trip to the Fairy Fountain. See if I can upgrade anything else. Now I've got the, you know, specifically the snow quill stuff. Now I've got some red choo-choo jelly. I was wondering if it should be getting cold, but then I realised I'm wearing Flame Blade, so Link's body temperature is going to be fine. Square tree in the distance. As usual, all I've got on the map is this vague area. I'm incredibly glad that I prioritised getting the climbing gear, though. The fox is at a very strange angle. Oh, it's down there. Please tell me it's not down there. Well, it wasn't on top, is my thing. So I'm assuming it's down in the gorge. Save the game, just in case it's not. How the heck do I do that? Maybe from the other side and shoot across? Oh, I'm so sorry. I guess did not land that. This area really reminds me of Garutul. Close enough, I guess. Rocks. Get off the cliff face, Link. Not affected by gravity. it turns out. There we go. Skip the activation animation.
Mifa's grace is ready.
Mifa's grace is ready. Good to know. I like how it says ×1. You can never have more, but ×1. But at least I know what that symbol is for now. Really? Another test of strength? Grand. Well, okay. I'll do this and then take my break. Equip that. Do that for some attack up and guardian resist. Yeah, that's what I was concerned about. Okay, that's not doing anywhere near as much as I thought it would do, I'll be honest. It's also just far easier to change weapons in the menu. That's on me. Should have remembered that it does that. Food, please. This food is all too good. I don't need 6 hearts. Obviously, when he gets to the major test of strength, Guardian Sword Plus. This Guardian Sword has enhanced power over the standard model. Its cutting capabilities are improved. Its durability seems a slight uptick. What was I saying? Yeah, once I go find another major test of strength, which I highly suspect the Spring of Power to have, although it shouldn't, as it is a shrine quest, but I think the last spring had a test of strength in it. I'll be... Oh, my current Ancient Battle Axe is pristine. Never mind. I think this is more durable, the Claymore, than the axe. I think. Oh. Leave it there. Yeah, I'll use, you know, the like giant greatsword, frost greatsword, and freeze it and hit it with stuff. Strategy rather than actually fight it semi-normally. Hit it with them cheese strats. So this should be the 7th one in the region. Can't do the 8th one because I don't have the dragon yet. So I'll go and get some more hearts. Go and do some armor upgrading, and then, as I say, I'll take my wellness break before starting the Korok seed hunt. And then maybe to unwind after the actual play on Saturday, I'll do some rupee grinding. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then as I say 8's here, but I can't get it just yet. Tarrytown does have a goddess statue. And it is next to a fairy fountain, so I could do both actually. Fairy fountain first. I don't know if anyone else is experiencing this, but my email inbox at the minute has been flooded with spam email that is claiming to be, like delivery invoices for packages I've ordered. It's getting through all the spam filters and it's incredibly annoying. You have one fairy? I just assumed you could only have one fairy at a time. That's on me. And here. Ah, you've come here again. Okay, let me see your clothes. The power available to me can greatly enhance your clothing. Not quite enough for a choo-choo jelly. Dang it. You do not have that in your email? Well, good for you. How does that feel? Probably feels pretty good, if I'm honest with you. Ooh, quite enough fish oil as Alphos tails. Probably go with the trousers, I think. Pretty normal, honestly. That's fair. Yahoo's usually pretty decent, actually, for spam filters. Almost used the Lizalpos tail. I'm gonna do it on the chest piece. Really? You're gonna kiss me like that while you upgrade the... Sure, why not? While you upgrade the item that my beloved Mifa made for me. If I'm going to be wearing that for the attack up, dang straight I'm upgrading it. Or enhancing it, I should say. Same with this. I'm going to be wearing it for Guardian fights, so any extra Guardian resistance and defense I can possibly get is good. Barosh, amusingly, the one dragon I've seen before but haven't killed. I think I'm good for now. I don't particularly want to use that because I don't know how often to enhance it, because I don't know if I'll be using it that often. And I need the Lazelphos tail for the Zora gear. But I'm glad I managed to... I don't know why I'm picking these up, by the way. It's not like I used the defense up stuff. 3 Endora carrots. That's a bit spicy, putting Endora carrots next to a berry that's looking that good. I don't know what's going on. There we go. Grab that. I'm going completely the wrong way. For the berry statue, the goddess statue, which is over here. Oh, actually, before I do that, I meant to look in this house last time. Or anything worth stealing. Oh, gosh dang it, Bolson. Bolson, Hudson. Really? Nothing worth taking? That's mildly annoying. Pray to the goddess statue. You who have conquered the shrines and claimed their spirit orbs. In exchange for 4 spirit orbs, I will amplify your being. I'll take a heart container, please. In fact, I'd like 2, but I can only do them 1 at a time. Is that 9 hearts? It is. I can get 10 hearts here. So with 10 hearts, I think, after I do Eldin, which is this big region here, with the next Divine Beast, well, the next closest Divine Beast is, if I then go and do this region down here, I think is Farron. I don't know. That should then give me enough hearts to actually get the Master Sword, and I'll do the Korok stuff, and then probably go like this, maybe? I don't know. I definitely want to get the sword that seals the darkness before dealing with the 2 Divine Beasts over here. And I'm probably going to go through Eldin next. Right, I'm going to put the first Korok seed on the map, and then I'm going to attempt my Wondrous Break. And as I say, this one doesn't have a map showing where the Korok seeds are, so this is going to be fun. A Carless Span. I guess we'll fast travel here and I'll pause. Once I've got the 13 hearts for the sword, by the way, as I said this before, I'm going to go back to stamina vessels. I don't know how many hearts you can get maximum. I guess like maybe 15 would make sense. Oh, what's that? Why haven't I got... Oh, hang on, but the Elden Tower's right there. Chat, remember Elden Tower can be seen from a Akala Tower? Because I might go to do that one. You know, when as I have been doing when I go to a new area and just unlock the tower straight off. I have to remember I can see it from here. Anyway, I need to be going in... that direction. There's the thing. But for now, wellness break time. Going to pause the YouTube recording. Unpause the YouTube recording. YouTube, I've got a muscle in my neck that's cramping right now, so if I have to, you know, periodically pause to try to massage it loose or stretch it, I absolutely will, because it is painful. What the fuck is happening down here? Nell, come on and get me, I'll take you on. It's dead, my dude. It took all I had to stay alive against that monster, but you beat it like it was a straw training dummy. Whoever you are, you deserve this more than I do. Heck yeah, sneaky veggie rice balls. This homestyle dish of Kakariko village is stuffed with the bounty of the mountains. I came out this way to search for the citadel, can't believe I made it so close, only to have to turn back now. That's the Akala's Citadel ruins. Long ago, at the peak of Hyrule's power, they built a fortress to protect Akala. Depending on where the cramp is, you can lay your head to the side, stretch it out. Oh yeah, I absolutely will once the stream's over, or if it gets too painful. So I'm prone to cramping. Apparently chemo cramps are a thing, and I've just, ever since I had chemotherapy, I've just been really prone to cramping. Spontaneous cramping, it's amazing. It was said to be unassailable, but during the Great Calamity, Hyrule Castle fell. The army had no royalty to lead them. With no other choice, they fell back to the citadel to make their last stand. Sadly, a concentrated assault from the out-of-control Guardians spelled the end for this fortress too. In a real sense, the Kingdom of Hyrule met its doom here. I found out my own kin died in that battle, so I came to at least pray at the spot where they fell. But it turns out that the old Guardians are still active, so this is as far as I go. I've never heard of anyone else escaping a Guardian's sights, at least. You don't look reckless enough to chance it, but be on your guard in these hills all the same. Cheers, dude. You've already taken from that one. Anyway. Imagine if this one was active. It's like, how did he even get here? It's a monster camp. I guess I'll deal with it. There might be a treasure chest. Shrine nearby? Oh, right, it'll be over there. No. I'm getting distracted. It wouldn't even be particularly useful to have it as a fast travel point. It stays there for now. I've done the shrines. I'm doing the boring thing now. Although obviously once I've done the boring thing, we can go and talk to Hester and get some more inventory space. go as far as I hope they will. Have they seen me, or are they going for the bomb? They have absolutely seen me. Sure, I've got everything equipped that I want. Okay, what is the range on this sword? Tiny, apparently. Ah, is the problem with this combat system. Doo-doo-doo. Ow! I was trying to get away from that to stop that happening, but the game just... Link doesn't control very well when you're in combat, is the issue. Especially if it's too big enemies. Because there's a goblin over here, I believe. Oh, it's asleep. It's not going to sleep for much long. Well, it'll be very asleep, actually. That is the problem with this combat system, not the entirely uncouth way he stuffs his face full of food. Oh no, that's fine. I like being able to heal at will in the middle of a menu without it taking any time whatsoever. Actually, it's the same problem that the Callisto Protocol has. So there we go. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild equals the Callisto Protocol. You heard it here first. Did it at least drop any arrows? 5. Oh, good. There's that at least. I'll do cooking off stream, as I said. Congratulations, whoever just got 5 points in the jump catch game. Speaking of the Callisto Protocol, I still need to pre-order Dead Space. They're not the same game, don't worry about it. There's just no similarities that prompted me to remember that. Ow. Really? Get away. Yaha! I'm deliberately saying yaha, by the way, not yahaha. Just to annoy the Koroks. But they're kind of right here. I hate knowing it's there and it constantly pinging. The sea things are so weird. Yeah, they're not great. They're kind of annoying. If I were on top of the bridge, I would probably go for that, but I'm not on top of the bridge, so I'm not going to. Korok Seed 2 but if I'm going to be on top of the tower... Yes, I am procrastinating, but I also don't like the pinging from the Sheikah sensor. It's kind of annoying. It also gets me one more spirit orb to an extra heart, so yeah. And I need to do 120 for that armor set. Oh, right, it's cold. If I run out of stamina, I'll just reload to the top of the tower and just go to the corpse, see if it's on that hill somewhere. Oh, it's the stables. It's a useful one to have, actually. I'll go to the stables, but I'm probably just got the Bastrop plug for it. You know what, chat? I might break my rule and go and do the other shrine as well that I can get to from that tower, the one that's tucked away. How am I doing on self-promotion, chat? I'm trying to get better. I kind of want, hopefully, understandably, this to be the year that money starts happening more frequently. Lava, fantastic. Metal makes a path. I will actually take the port sword. Okay, this is Moakit and Eldin. I'll just check that that's all there is in this shrine. Yes. Very literal when it says metal makes a path. Okay, I don't know. Where was the stable? So I don't know if this will work. Okay, so that's... Okay, it has put it on the map for me. Very good. That's what I was hoping would happen. So I know there's a stable there, even if I end up going to Eldon without getting the tower for whatever bizarre reason that I cannot currently conceive of. I mean, I personally can't conceive. Anyway, I'm sterile, but, you know, some people, TMI. Okay, and there was another one over here. Kind of just tucked away. Curse this early morning fog. Also curse this incoming thunderstorm. Oh, I saw it flash. That was very strange. I suppose this is the canyon that did roll spawn in. Across the region boundary, no longer a thunderstorm. You know, thinking about it, I think you can turn the Sheikah sensor off. But I like using it when I'm traveling, so that's fine. Power of fire! Sardahaj. It certainly has one item in it as well. Okay. Okay. Do I have that torch still? Okay, I guess I'll walk up to this and set fire to it. And then run away before the fire, you know, the leaves you have to stand on catch fire. Oh, that's just rude. No, not the torch. That's got an sword plus. I think Guardian Sword is just 20 damage. Must be. I'm good. Okay, so there isn't a way to do these if you don't have the requisite tool, I guess. No, not gonna bamboozle me with another guardian. No, I don't think so. They're absolutely gonna do it again. I don't trust them. Okay, so I need a replacement torch, but I know where I can find one of those easily enough. Knight's bow. So that's the one chest in here. And then I'm assuming I set fire to these to burn the box, which drops the pressure plate. Oh, actually, this one would have also given me the chest. Oh well, never mind. Link just standing there. Would you like a Girl Scout cookie? Chat, I'm very tempted to go and grab the tower. I know that I need to do the Korok seeds, but I'm just not feeling it right now. And like the tower's right there. It's taunting me. Spontaneous, was it geological eruptions as I called them. Hello, Gamer Wolf 2022. How are you doing? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go for it. Why not? I'm in charge of this stream, gosh dang it. I do things in the order I want, and if I want to break my order, I'm gonna do it. But welcome to my teeny tiny corner of Twitch. Hopefully you enjoy your time here. You went for Mipha's Grace as your first champion ability? Interesting. There wasn't any real conscious decision. This is my first playthrough of the game, and my partner really, really likes elephants. So that was as far as my decision-making process went. Was elephant. Oh, I should probably equip my bow. Yeah, first playthrough. It's not... I'm using a guide for Korok seeds and where I can find the shrines, but I'm doing everything apart from that, you know, without... I'm using maps to find things, but not tell me how to do them, if that makes sense. Because I'm probably not going to replay this, so I was like, I'm going to 100% this as much as I possibly can. Still need to add that to my title. I'll do that once the stream is over. 100%-ish percent. 100-ish percent. Good luck getting 999 Koroks. Well, that's why I'm using maps. I would not do this without a map for Korok seeds specifically. Shrines would probably be okay, but again, it's just a time thing. I don't have the time to, you know, sit around and do stuff like that. You can give me a tip if you wish. I don't want to do the whole monetary, financial, or advice. Ha 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 ha. Shtick. I need a tiny bit. Sure, why not? Big Bird is the easiest and one of the best champion abilities. The meadow, or whatever it's called over here. I will bear that in mind, thank you. Right now I'm just getting sidetracked. Oh, that looks explodable. But I need to get up there. Get enough good healing foods for the camel in the desert. Yeah, I do all my cooking off stream just because it's not terribly interesting to watch. Oh shit. When was my last save? Okay, well if that's the case, I'm not getting that tower just yet. It's the hardest boss in the game, don't count the gold Lionel. Oh, I mean, the Lionel's optional, aren't they? Yeah, so I've got the spirit orb. Okay, chat, you know what? I'll go for it, and I'll make one more attempt. But now I know that Guardian's there, things may be different. And if that still is a problem and it still kills me, then I'll go for the Korok seeds and The collar. You gonna try to get Valmeadow eventually? So the way I'm playing the game, I guess a bit of a refresher for people who've forgotten, and also for new people. I go to an area. I do all of the. I do all of the. Quests in that area, like the main quest stuff. Nope. And then I get all of the side quests, then I do all the shrines, then I do all the Korok seeds, and then I finish the side quests that I can. But if you're saying if you're recommending that the champion ability from Valmeadow's a good one, I'll go for that next after I finish this region. I'm just going for this tower because I can see it and it's taunting me. Do I recommend you get it? Then I will go over there after I've finished the Carla.
Be Victus!
3 glorious years.
3 years, almost as glorious as your face. You got the DLC? Nah, this is just the base game. Actually, before I do go to get Valmeadow, I might grab some more fire choo-choo jelly to upgrade the snow quill armor, because something tells me that's useful in Hebra. Okay, I think I can see an alternate route that might get me around that Guardian. I didn't even see the Guardian, in all fairness. It shot me in the back. The region I should get Mauritania. Oh yeah, oh, it's there, I see it.
Be Victus!
So many long resubs today. I'm like a baby in here.
Resubs. Is your Death Mountain? I know, but if you're recommending the movement ability from Valmeadow, I really don't mind, you know, skipping around like that. Okay, there's the Guardian that pwned me. I'll kill you later. Ah, there's a Korok thing down there as well. Well, definitely gonna have to kill that Guardian at some point. I mean, 19 months isn't... Ari, giving the gift of me. I am the best gift anyone can receive. If anyone in the chat just received a gift sub from Ari, enjoy it. Oh, hello. I need you. Really? One jelly? Fantastic. Perfect. All the superlatives. Yeah, GG's to everyone who just got us up. Congratulations. Thank you for all the love today, chat. I really appreciate it. It helps with the start of year blues. Thank you for making you feel more mature. People can't feel mature on this stream. That's illegal. Oh, I'm wearing completely the wrong clothing for this.
Beelzebel gifted a tier 1 sub to GamerWolf 2022. This is their first gift sub in the channel.
Thank you so much, Beelzebel, for gifting that sub. Okay. I'm legally obliged to say nice. Nice. You are legally obliged to say nice, me. You are. Standard lizard. Fireproof lizard. This rare lizard can only be found in the Elden region. Its scales have heat-resistant properties, so when cooked with monster parts, it produces a heat-resistant elixir. Not too much money? Yeah. I'm blessed with financially successful friends and supporters. You are loved, seen, and valid. Oh, dang it, you have worth and will always have a place here. Take care, you will, chap. Everyone is valid. You know, unless you're you know, like a Nazi. You'd be destitute without Satet. Did you marry for his? Did you marry Satet for his money? Loving the sound bites. Thanks, Beelzebub. I tried with them. I keep meaning to add more. The trouble is that the I'm out of free slots. All of the new ones would have to be you donate bits for them. Like the 6969 one I think is a channel point thing. I think I've got one that you have to cheer for. I can't remember at this point. You'll have to check the panels below the video player if you're on desktop. Married for love, but if I would redo it, I'd marry for money instead. Yeah, Angel was saying, has said previously that she and her friend at school always said they'd marry for money, and I have none. So Angel's failed on that count. I don't even come from a well-off family, so it's not like I'm going to inherit anything. All I wanted was this tower. Satet for the win. Now get Satet to redo his Twitch username, but with a $sign instead of an S. Okay, that's all I wanted. I just wanted the map. Still have to repeat the game as restart it, but it's boring until you get some better gear. Yeah, I mean, it has some interesting design choices. Oh god, OBS does not like vistas. I mean, no one likes Vista. Hey, Windows joke. Thank you for the GGs. I just figured, well, I could see the tower and it seemed relatively easy to access that I may as well grab it. It means that I know where roads are as well when I'm actually exploring Death Mountain. It's boring for someone who's finished the game like 10 times already. I can well imagine. I can well imagine. I need to replay Silent Hill twice actually. First one, I'm like, I can't with the school again. Actually, to be fair, the hospital's worse, but the school's more annoying. Just got the DLC, so you wanted to restart. That's fair. See it as kind of intended, rather than doing post-game DLC. Let's see if the DLC is on sale. Choo choo! We got a hype train? Where is it? I was so distracted by all the positive messages in chat that I completely did not notice the hype train. Did anyone see what level the hype train reached? Level 3 hype train? Wonderful. Where's the rock? Well, everyone in chat, thank you for helping me reach a level 3 hype train. I'm still not sure what to do. Oh, there it is. When I do reach hype trains. I know my original plan was gift as many subs as the level reached, but I'm broke AF, and I can't really do that. And I can't message my subs to be like, hey, here's a gift to say thank you for being subs during a hype train. Because Twitch temporarily removed that feature early last year. Might have been even before that. Oh, never mind. What was my hype train emote? It looks like a pug. That's because it is a pug. could help you in the DLC, the Korok mask. Does that tell you where the Korok seeds are? Ah, it's the tree branch. Okay. IGN, tell me where the next seed is, please. Here. Shake when you know a Korok seed? That would be useful. I mean, yes, I'm using a map, but the map isn't terribly accurate. And sometimes I have to guess. Especially when it's, you know, a multiple tier thing. Where I'm lower than the seed or higher than the seed. So that would be useful. Again, I apologise for all the stuttering that happens when I fast travel. I don't have the world's greatest computer. I'm just going to assume it's this ring of trees here. Pro controller. I am... Oh dear. Ooh, boy. Yeah, I'm playing with Pro Controller. The Joy-Cons hurt my hands. My hands are slightly too large for them, and I have them in a plastic case to help with that, but it means that the hard, like, plastic edge of the case kind of bites into my fingers after a while. It's not very good. I should eat, but I'm just not in the mindset to eat, if that makes sense. I totally get that. I was like that for most of Christmas. Which... I like my food, so that was a whole thing that was concerning Angel. I should say, I like my food, but I do also have body image issues. Not that I would starve myself or anything. Nope. Oh, we're actually at the ruins. Okay, that makes more sense. Looks like it's around here somewhere. So it's definitely depression related, not wanting to eat. I know that feel. About how depression can make you like not feel hunger. It really is, isn't it? I mean, it's just wild how depression makes you feel anything that it feels. It's just such a weird thing. I mean, there's a weird rock. It was the weird rock. Hold that for me. I love the beh noise they make. It's so satisfying. What a great storage solution. Huge metal box. 1 rupee and 1 arrow. And it's almost not worth the time it takes to put the stuff in the box. Okay, the next one, I think I might have just got the wrong one? Question mark? Yeah, I just got the wrong seed. Interesting. There's another seed over here somewhere. Oh god, I hate that noise so much. Down here? Oh, that's a problem. piece. Oh, is it down here? Suspicious leaf pile. I don't know, chat. It's awfully sus. Sussy leaves. Depression plus sadness equals hopelessness. Equals sadness plus hopelessness. That is very true, Carton. But the point of being depressed is that you feel unhappy and you feel like there's nothing you can do about it. And you know what happened? You know what I do when I'm depressed. Usually I actually stream because I try not to let my depression stop me from doing stuff that I should be doing. Apart from that, video games. And I use the We Care channel on my Discord server, and people are very supportive, and I'm very appreciative of that. Speaking of sussy leaves, segue. I have floated the possibility of this month's community event involving Among Us. If anyone is down for a game of Among Us. Specifically hide and seek. I don't like the base Among Us game type that much, but the hide and seek seems my jam. Or the kind of guy that likes walking on leaves to the crispy sound, but far as a bad option too. Look, I like crispy leaves as much as the next person. It's very satisfying. But sometimes you've just got to burn a pile of leaves. Specifically in this game. I don't actually advocate just casual arson. Well, carbon emissions and stuff. That is true. Fortunately, I don't have to worry about the environment in Hyrule. Like it's a problem in this game. There's barely any industries. It's true. Basically, Among Us just secretly wants to be a multiplayer Dead Space. It's true. Imagine if Dead Space had a multiplayer mode. I'm looking pointed at the camera. I have no... Actually, to be fair, I've heard that Dead Space 2's multiplayer is pretty good. So I can't actually comment on that. Apparently it's in the same area. Did I do the thing again? Or I sure did. I sure did pick them up in the wrong order. Where's a random arrow? Anyway. You okay there, Rock? Okay, I am thoroughly discombobulated now. There are 3 here? I got that one. Located in the trees to the west of the Akala Citadel ruins is a pile of leaves. Burn them to reveal a rock. Hey IGN, if you're going to provide a picture reference for a map, don't fuck up and put the wrong picture reference in. Nobody liked that. Where the heck is this then? So what I've got to do now is reference the minimap I can see in the screenshot of what I actually have to interact with. Can I make this bigger? That didn't help much. Okay, I think I'm in the right area. Maybe. My gen guides are the worst. They're not always the best. but I do appreciate a good pic. I don't like video walkthroughs. They just don't vibe with me. More arrows. Peace, Skywatcher. And IGN, this particularly the Korok Seeds guide is usually pretty good. They usually have like a full map with the Korok Seeds numbered, and then a breakdown of how to specifically get each one. But for some reason, for this region, they don't have the numbered map. I think it is over there. I don't think they put the wrong reference picture. Okay, I think that's the one. That's the one I just got. I'm gonna just go to dash because I hit the wrong button. I meant to press the plus button, but it's slightly further across. Now I've got to wait for this to load. One more clinical note to get through. Harry, you've got this. Okay, so looking for some. Oh, whoops. Actually, I had Chrome open all this time. That might explain a couple of things. Thank you for being your companion during your note writing. Ah, no worries. I'll vibe with anyone. Ignore the fact I've got Hades. Okay, so I dropped down there. And that was a Korok seed. I hate everything about this game right now. So much. Well, this is annoying. Because I'm looking for more of these, but with a leaf pile, apparently. Yeah, there's definitely not one there. Nope. Unless the picture is wrong, but the text direction is correct. Oh. Wasn't worth the arrows it took. Maybe it's down here. Oh, there it is. I see it. The picture's wrong. That's the problem. Oh, it's raining. Well... bother. Can't do anything while it's raining. God forbid I have fun in the game. Boxes everywhere. I'm standing on the rock I need to pick up. I guess I could put the leaf there to remind me there's a Korok seed. Because it's going to be raining for a while. Looks like this is in the Torrel wetland. About here. Sure, why not? We'll go with blue. Any exciting weekend plans, folks? I've got nothing to talk about while I'm doing this, so I'm gonna just talk nonsense like usual. I wonder if they're worth taking the time to kill. I know that noise and that particle effect. Where's the... there it is. Blood moon. Everything's respawning.
The blood moon rises once again.
Yeah, could it not?
Please be careful.
Face drop. That's keys, not true. Is that a rock? Sure is. Yeah, haha. I hate the menus in this game. Oh dear, you're not good. And there's one in the background. Well, I didn't really do exactly what I hoped it would do. I need that. You know what? Heck it. I'm going after the moving guardian in the background. I can't wait for this to be a mistake. Please give me a lot of good stuff. Oh, that's a lot of good stuff. Come on. Okay, so the wetland's pretty good, I guess, for scavenging guardian pieces. Oh, I assume it's this one. Taking the safe route, cause I'm a coward. I have to make a note of which seed I get up to as well. The main issue with doing it this way, actually, is I don't know how many seeds there are in this area. I guess I could scroll frantically down the list. I'm on seed 10 of 57. Fantastic. The writing is blunt, though, I imagine. Pretty boring, just later attempts at documentation and extensive testing. Ah, writing documentation. I used to do that for... That used to be my job. I found him! So that's pretty cool ruin. I need to take a picture of you, my dude. I drowned. I guess I'm not taking that picture. Yeah, fun fact, I used to write user manuals for software. Very specific user manuals for very specific software. Still, security systems. It's pretty interesting stuff. Alright, I need to take a picture of you. Oh yeah, ah, it's just you. You startled me. My monster shop is now open for business. Seeing as how you're a first-time customer here at Fang & Bone, our first order of business will be converting your monster parts to Mon. What is Mon? Mon is a currency I invented to destabilize the market and fight the establishment. Did you invent cryptocurrency, Kilden? Just kidding, there's no establishment in Hyrule. I just love monsters so much I turn them into money. Here's the deal. You bring me monster parts, I'll exchange them for Mon. I'm the only business in Hyrule that accepts Mon as payment. Pretty exclusive, huh? Anyway, you can spend your Mon on various types of monster gear that I've created based on my research. Another thing. I'm always developing new monster gear, so remember to check back in between your adventures. So let's exchange the monster parts you have for Mon. Thank you, Stick. Thank you for that. I'm always glad I had tech writers to look at my documentation after I wrote it. Yeah, technical writing's pretty... I enjoyed my technical writing. I can see it's not for everyone. Thank you very much. Oh, that's what the purple coin is that I've seen on the internet. The goblin horn? Maybe not 199, you can have 100 of them. There's also like a fine line. I'm good. Thank you for converting your monster parts into Mon. Now then, how can Fang & Bone mean... I'd like to spend some Mon, thank you. That's a new piece of monster gear. You call it the spring-loaded hammer. Whack a small monster with this thing and boing, it'll launch the monster into the distance. It's really useful for getting rid of pesky monsters you don't feel like fighting, plus it's just fun to use. Your current balance is 300 Mon. What monster gear would you like to buy? Oh, he wasn't kidding. You genuinely... Okay. It doesn't do much damage, it just yeets them into the distance. As a therapist, I have to be careful how much I include in my notes to protect confidentiality too, because the notes are also turned over to insurance companies who can deny therapy based on what you write. Not stressful at all. That sounds awful. Is this... Do they ignore you if you're wearing these? Because that would be mildly useful. They're pretty cute anyway, so I'm just going to wear them. I'm going to buy them. Sorry, Kilton's handmade moblin gear. It's designed to replicate the moblin's distinct long nose and large horn. Equip it to blend in with the moblins. Kilton's handmade bokoblin headgear. It's almost charming in a cute, monstrous kind of way. Equip it to blend in with bokoblins. No, I'm good for now, my dude, but I'll see you again. Stands like a bokoblin. Nope. Nope. I just want to take a selfie with Kilton. I call this thoughtful bokoblin. Oh, did that take? Good. Right. So, do I now also walk like a bokoblin? No. Never mind, I guess. Ah, yes, insurers. The most trusted of people. Nothing against insurance people, but it's that whole just because it's legal doesn't mean it's right kind of conversation. Okay, where is the stone? Or rock, I suppose. If I were a tiny rock, where would I be? Hidden by bushes. Random question, because I don't know how this works in the UK, never mind in the US. As we're discussing in chat. YouTube, just chat's discussing note writing for therapy sessions. Do different insurers have different ways you have to write for them, or is that system all standardized? Do insurers differ in the way that you have to write your notes for them to read, or are notes kind of standardized between insurers? It's a weird question, I admit. I don't think it particularly has any bearing on anything. I'm just curious. Aha! I see that flower. Oh, you... Link, why would you do that? I pressed A. So there's no formula or anything. If they want certification, they can call or email you with questions. Most medical settings, though, we so... Alright, let's try that again, but with Link actually doing what the button input tells him to do. That's a subjective, objective assessment and plan. Thank you for answering my question. I will, oh god, where was it? I will try to remember. There we go. You love answering questions about your field? Then I will endeavour to think of more and ask them at the most inopportune moments. Well, that's just not fair. Link's about to fall off. Oh, actually, well, the weather's good. Go and grab this one. Okay, Link. That's a pose. Sorry, I'm just curious what the maximum health and stamina is. Looks like it might be 30. And 3 stamina wheels. Oh, while we're talking about psychology and gaming, this is mostly for Ari's benefit, but in case you haven't seen, Bloober Team have said that they're going to be very respectful with the story of the Silent Hill 2 and change it as little as possible. They're just updating gameplay and graphics, apparently. You saw? Do you believe? You still don't trust those sons of guns? Neither do I. But I do have a PS5, so I can at least play Silent Hill 2. Speaking of, also, because, you know, game journalism and stuff, Sony believes that the PS5 shortage is over. That the chip, specifically like the chip shortage, has ended, so PS5s can now meet demand. Right, first of all, is it this tree? No, it is not this tree. Is it this tree? Well, there's a flower ring on top of the tree, so that's a hopeful sign. 5. One time I assume Silent Hill information is delivered to Ari by courier before it's posted on the internet for the rest of us. Question, when watching Silent Hill 2, does the audio still bother you? Yeah. Like, if it's a clear enough recording for Silent Hill. I want to play it. I'd love to play it on stream, because I think it might do well for the channel. But it's just finding time. Oh, I wonder what I could have to do for this seed. Absolutely, I did see this week restoring the PS5 in vertical configuration to be detrimental to the long term for the PS5 in question. Yeah, I saw that about half an hour before I started streaming. Unfortunately, I don't have it vertically. I have mine horizontally in a media unit under the TV downstairs. So if I do stream Silent Hill 2 remake, it's going to be a whole faff to get it up here and find room for it. But chat, you're worth it. But as I said, I do want to play the original Silent Hill 2. The only thing that's stopping me from grabbing the HDMI to SCART converter, really, and doing it that way, is the PS2 fan noise is quite loud. And you know, I have a Blue Yeti mic, which is notoriously sensitive. You know what? I'm just going to shoot it down. But yes, as I was saying, I saw just before I started streaming that storing it vertically damages the PS5. I didn't look into it any further. I didn't like read the article. I think it was a YouTube video that was recommended. Maybe, I don't know. But that's a serious design flaw if that is the case. I have done that one. Just take the PS5 out of the case, put it on a desk. Would you? This would be for my Discord community, but does anyone actually want to see the space I'm working with? Because I know I make a big deal about how small my streaming setup space is. Is anyone actually interested in seeing how small it is? Because I will take a picture of my desk, as vaguely cluttered as it is. I'll try and get the Xbox in view so you can see where that is as well, but it's not a great setup. Because very limited space in old houses, turns out. I think there is an old picture on Twitter, actually. But I have, obviously, upgraded a couple of things since that picture was taken. I don't currently need weapons. Or monster parts particularly. But it has been a while since I killed something. It was interesting how other people work. Yeah, it can be interesting sometimes. Oh! Look at that. Okay, the updraft's gone, never mind. No. Black bokoblins are very beefy. Strengthened Lizalbo. I want another one of those. Probably not. I think I'm okay. Anyway, continuing on as I was doing. Oh, that's what the problem is. I'm walking around in my climbing gear. It's... That's for medium armor. You know what? I'm not going to go for it. Yeah, I'll try to remember to take a picture of my setup. Everything will be off, obviously. I'm not going to show my desktop. I'm going to dox myself. Not that there's anything particularly exciting on my desktop. I try to keep it uncluttered. By which I mean I shove everything in a document, in a folder. No. Please no. Fuck. Okay, well, I've saved, so you know what? Just drop that there. Just in case. I've sworn like 3 times this stream. I'm so sorry. The usual levels of professionalism just not here. Wow, all in one. It's probably because I'm a little tired. Fastest way straight towards the wall. Okay, I was like, is that a bush or a moblin? It's a bush. Nah, the bees are fine. You're a professional author, we literally can read your thoughts? I mean, yes. If you so chose. I wouldn't say professional author. My self-published book is not terribly well-selling, and none of the TTRPG projects I've submitted work to have been published yet. 2 of them appear to be stuck in development hell as well. So that's great. Is it up? Or is it down? The map's just kind of in this general vicinity. Expect great things from me? Oh, I wouldn't. I really wouldn't. Okay, let's see if I can finagle my way to this rock. See, that would be the perfect situation for the Korok mask. Where even is this? Oh, it's over here. Do apologise. Apparently I have crap wind. You'll take your chance? Well, you'll have to. You will have to contribute financially to the project I was involved with. Although I guess technically that's untrue. I have released community content and the first section of my campaign guide. Speaking of, actually, while I'm thinking about it, anyone who has bought the Leninist Age of Cataclysms, I'm actually going to be releasing that in 2 chunks. The first chunk is completely system neutral. It's just a fantasy setting for your TTRPG needs. The second chunk will be 5e compatible, because if Wizards fuck us with the new OGL, swear number 4, I apologise, I'm just going to remove it from sale, because I can't be bothered to deal with the additional overhead of all of the teeny tiny administrative tasks they want people to jump through to use the OGL. So anything I've written that is 5e compatible is just going to get removed. Honestly thought there'd be a rock beneath that. With a Korok. Oh, okay. Some of these are a little annoying. See the Twitch streams you posted about OGL? No, I haven't had a chance to yet. I've been trying to do self-care this week. I don't know if that's too high. It's moving too quickly. Oh, nice. Oh my god. Why? Can this even reach? Continuing the conversation though. No, I haven't had a chance to watch them, but I set up a... Bitch, please. 5. I set up a creative, TTO freelance writer and artist server, and we've been talking about it there and sharing articles and stuff that goes into it. But I do want to watch the videos. That's probably what I'll do some of them on Monday. Okay, that's far enough. I just need to time it. Too soon. That was awful. I hated every moment of that. Right, I'm gonna go down there and grab some arrows, I think. I think it was over here somewhere. Also, that's the game on the Switch stuttering, not the capture. Okay, well that was miserable. Some of these, I mentioned it before, but some of these can best be described as a choice. What gets me about not just Wizards' new OGL 1.1, but a lot of Conservative Party policies and the memos surrounding them, is they include comments such as, this is going to get bad PR, this is going to get pushback, people aren't going to like this. Gotta run some errands, and if you'll still be alive when you get back, so I want to say thanks for the stream. No worries, I'll be wrapping up shortly, so I won't be live when you get back. But thank you for being here, Ari. Hopefully I've vibed with you well enough that you managed to get everything done and you weren't too bored. And hopefully see you again soon. And it's like, if you know that the decision you're making, I mean, yeah, sometimes it's just a hard decision that has to be made. And I'm not saying don't make the hard decisions. But if you're looking at something and you're like, everyone is going to hate this, except our investors, maybe don't do it. Just a thought. Although, by and large, my rule of thumb is, if you're pretty sure the only person who's actually going to like that decision is the investors, you probably shouldn't make that decision. Why would I say something so brave? I guess the good thing about having to do it by without the numbered map is theoretically it's going to be harder for me to miss a seed. Maybe? Maybe not? No. Perhaps the big tree. But I do want this lizard. Korok seed get. I'll grab a couple more, but then I'll have to head off. Over there. How many did I say that seeds were? 57. So if I get to halfway, that's what, 28-ish? And then it's half the seeds in the area done. I grabbed it. I reached into the ground, I grabbed its head and I pulled. At some point, of course, I also need to go back to Zora's domain and there we go. I'm reasoning if I just go up the cliff, up the path, that there are a lot of Lizalfos there that theoretically should give me a tail drop. Oh, that's a party that I'm not invited to, and I want no part of. What up, Ox? Watch out, they saw me. Going up. Yeah, I don't want any part of that. That's not my time. My time? My thing. Okay. And again, shoot this one down. No, I need my arrow. No, get back. Oh god. Get back here. I need you. We're all good. Panic over. Where the heck is that? Over here, I think. Why are there so many Korok seeds? I'm over a quarter of the way through the Korok seeds in the entire game, though, so there's that, I suppose. When do we see the 3-minute speedrun of this game? Never. It requires a lot of practice, so I'm not going to commit to anything. Because you have to go and fight Ganon essentially naked. It's fun to watch, though. Don't get me wrong. It is a very fun speedrun to watch the end of percent of this game. But it's probably not something I'll be doing. I'll be honest. Probably shouldn't try this when it's raining. Just a thought. Or nighttime. At least it stopped. Please? Trying to get the cricket, but I guess that's not to be. Wow, that's tight. I'm going to be difficult while it's raining. But hey, it's going to be raining for the next chunk of time, so... Yeah. While raining, this is going to prove awesome. That. The random chance you slide when climbing. Well, let's give myself every advantage I possibly can. Short of downing that 7-minute speed elixir I've got. Okay, I think that's not the plan. I don't think that's the play. Coming out of the menu is just too jarring. For me, at least. With my processing issues. Ah, you son of a gun. A good fast reset. I don't know how you're supposed to do that. I guess you jump from the top of that pillar. I'm jumping too late on that first pillar and then just sliding down that one, so that's great. That would be fantastic. I'm just going to go and wait in Tarrytown. I suppose it doesn't really matter where I wait, but Tarrytown is just the closest on the map, so... Angel's going to be wondering what the heck is up, what's happened to me up here. I think based on the time it's taking to do this, this will be my last seed. So I can see that it's going to be raining again after the morning, so if I wait until noon... That'll work. Please tell me it's lit. Oh, it's not, I can't even wait here. Oh, that's annoying. Can I use his... bed? If I get far enough up this hill, is it going to start raining again? Yep. Sure is. This is miserable. Why is this a thing? I'm going to put it. Challenge that requires climbing in a region that rains a lot. Oh, I might as well just keep trying it at this point. Because the fire isn't lit, so I can't wait at it. I can't bother to go to my house in a tenno. I guess I could down that 7-minute potion. Hang on, if I save... It seems like a waste to drink it, because it lasts for 7 minutes, but... You know, I can always make another, so... Oh hey, more moblins. Okay, now that I've consumed the elixir, let's see how many I can get before it runs out. Seed 23 was the one on top of the rock that was the flower pillar. Seed 24 was the stackable pillars. Seed 25 was the one in the middle of the peninsula. Seed 26 is on a mountain. Oh, gee, I wonder what I've got to do. That's in an awful place. Why would they do this to us? I guess go here and glide. Seems a little waste of a haste potion, but there we go. Flame Greatsword does not heat Link as much as the single-handed version. Welcome back, Game Wolf. Oh, I should turn the hit that stop raids button. I'm still largely doing what I was doing when you left, just grabbing Korok seeds. According to Twitch, you never left, that is true. There it is. Is it always the same? I feel like it's always the same arrow, the same apple. Nope. I'm not made of arrows. I mean, I assume I picked up the arrow as well as the apple. Weird. Welcome back for the final 3 seeds of the stream, because I need to eat at some point. It is here somewhere. It didn't take you 2 hours to return this time. That is very true. I am speed. It's just, it still makes me laugh that it just speeds the animations up. Okay, that's on me. Yeah, I figured it was a hammer thing. Oh, really? Really? Really, game? More rain? There's the rock. I found it. Standing on the dang thing. Okay, well, I'm just going to put another leaf here to remind me that there's something here when it's not raining. Smarter McSmarter. Burn the leaves. It's raining. As far as I know, I cannot set anything alight when it's raining. I've tried. Where is this? Fire sword? Why would the fire sword work, but not the magic wand? Okay, well, thank you for saving me a headache there. I appreciate it. Because I've tried the meteor rod. I've tried to burn leaves historically. Well, I've tried to burn stuff with the fire arrows in the rain, and that doesn't work. So why would that work? It's zoom in and somewhere around here. Bomb arrows also work for a brief moment. I mean, I've fired bomb arrows and I've loosed bomb arrows in the rain, sorry, and they've never done anything. I've just collected them afterwards. But I don't know. You know, I'm fully aware that that may have been a me thing. Traveller down here. No. You didn't even drop anything. How rude. Chabby, okay, I admit you helped. I didn't need it, so don't expect any thanks, but you can have this if you want. Sure. I'm so embarrassed you had to rescue me again. Ugh, anyway. Haven't given up the search for that Kilton guy in Svangham, but I haven't gotten anywhere yet either. Apparently he shows up after dark where you least expect him. It could be anywhere in the world. But mark my words, I'll find him someday. Well, that probably just means that he'll always be in the village that you're in. No full game in one stream? No. My endurance is about 4 hours, not 150. I'm just trying to get to 30 Korok seeds in this area and then piecing out, because food is important. And also, I just feel like after a certain point, the stream is no longer fun for people to watch. Here. Food's optional for 4 days. Not with my blood sugar. Food's a side quest? Yeah, but it's tasty food. And also, if I don't eat, my partner won't eat. These aren't especially tall trees. Rock in this tree. No, I've been bamboozled. Okay. Plan B. Is there a hole in this tree? Bamboozled again. Okay. It's not going to be as simple as I thought. Oh, not stream pot make food. She's got a long day today. Oh, right, he moves in relation to the camera. And then... last seed of the stream is... here somewhere, by the looks of it. Yeah, Angel is busy enough supporting the stream and actually making the money that we use to buy food. So, shout out to Angel Ray 30, head mod, all round amazing person. I think that's a block down there to slot into a wall puzzle. Oh, it's up. Dang it. No, wait. Well, there's something down here. It's just a different one. Oh, wait. Nope, never mind. No worries. I'm just looking ahead to the next seed. The next seed's by the shrine. So I think that is the Korok seed that I'm looking for. There may be another one around here, but I'm just following the order on the map. Because that way I don't miss any. Because I have missed some before, and then I have to figure out which one I've missed. Oh, in the middle. Okay. These motion controls. I started with the motion controls and then I gave up. Because I use Amiibo off stream to just get free resources to speed things up. Long game. I don't spend the rest of my life streaming it. The motion controls with the Amiibo is just it doesn't work with my brain. It makes me feel a bit motion sick because of the weird like movements when I catch the stick. When I'm like micro movement of the console. So, 30 seeds in. So we've got 27 left, theoretically at least. I don't know if I've got any of the ones that are left. Double save, yeah, the compulsory double save. So I need to make a note that I'm on seed 31. And then I will wrap up the stream. Note has been made. I noticed that someone in chat is currently sporting an adorable yellow frog avatar. I dig it. But thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. I'm not going to find anyone to raid because I do have to head off and remind my partner that I exist before she forgets. So please have a great weekend, everyone. I'll be at twitch.tv/theonyxpath tomorrow at 9 p.m. GMT, 4 p.m. EST, where I'll be running session 0 of a TTRPG called Realms of Pugmire, using the 2nd edition playtest rules to promote the upcoming crowdfunding campaign for it. We'd love to see you there. No worries if you can't make it or if you're not interested. But I'll see you all on Tuesday for the remaining Korok seeds in this area, and we'll see what else I get time to do after that. But until then, please do stay safe. Please do stay healthy. Please do stay wholesome. Please do pet pets. And if you have the option to get a vaccine of any kind, please do take it. Goodbye.